Mako is a B&M hypercoaster located at SeaWorld Orlando, and in my opinion, it is the perfect roller coaster. The ride opened in 2016 as the tallest coaster in all of Florida and potentially B&M's 100th coaster depending on how you count it. The ride stands at 200 feet tall, making it a hypercoaster, and it features a first drop over a lake that is exactly 200 feet long. The coaster reaches a maximum speed of 73 miles per hour and features a plethora of airtime. The ride opened to rave reviews and has contributed very positively to SeaWorld's reputation ever since. Let's break down the ride experience. The ride experience for Mako starts before entering the queue. The ride is themed to the Mako shark and is placed next to a shark aquarium attraction. The area around the ride follows this theme, with the ride itself actually passing over the entrance area. The supports for the ride in this area feature theming to make them look like a reef. They also feature lights and audio that are played when a train passes through. After entering the queue, you'll walk through a section of lushly landscaped switchbacks that lead you closer to the station. As you get deeper into the queue, the ride's custom soundtrack becomes louder and more intense as you get closer to the shipwreck, aka the ride station. Under the station itself, you pass through the last section of switchbacks, which feature more theming, and at one time a screen showing a shark tracker, though as of my last visit, this had stopped working. You then climb the ubiquitous B&M concrete staircase leading up to the loading area. This has less theming, but gives you a chance to see the coaster. After reaching the station, you are free to pick any of the 7 rows. The station has the most theming of anywhere on the ride, with its own, more intense soundtrack, as you are now in the shipwreck itself. Each row looks like the rusted remains of a ship's hull, with video screens above the train that show sharks and other animals passing by overhead. The ride features 3 trains, each with 7 cars and 4 seats across, making for a capacity of 28 riders per train. One train is always undergoing refurbishment, meaning this ride will usually only operate with 1 or 2 trains. All rows on this ride are good, with the front giving great views and the back offering the best airtime. That being said, there's not a huge difference depending on where you sit. I do, however, recommend sitting on the seat closest to the unload side of the station, as there is one ride element that is significantly better in this seat. Once you board the train, you'll pull down your clamshell-style lap bars with no seatbelts. This, in my opinion, is the perfect restraint, as it allows for a huge amount of freedom and comfort while also being completely safe and secure. After all seats are checked, the train will be dispatched from the station. At this point, the music will change to one of the 3 custom lift hill soundtracks that build intensity as you are now riding along with a Mako shark. The lift hill audio continues as you climb higher on the lift, using speakers placed on the lift hill itself. If you've watched my Jolly Rancher remix video, you'll know that this is my preferred way of doing on-ride audio. The music builds to a climax as you crest the top of the lift hill. As the train falls over the first drop, riders in all rows experience several seconds of floater airtime. Riders in the back experience even more airtime as they're pulled down the drop. The bottom of the drop features a short straight section that also features the ride's camera, acting as a strobe light at night. The train then flies up into the first turn. This overbank turn offers a great sense of speed and gives you a chance to appreciate the scale of the ride. On an outside seat, you'll really feel exposed here, as if you're flying. The train then flies down this element and into one of the best airtime moments on any ride of all time, commonly called the 5-second hill. This parabolic airtime hill features around 5-ish seconds of uninterrupted, strong airtime. It is truly one of the best moments on any coaster anywhere as you fly out of your seat and float for several seconds in 0G. Falling down this hill, the coaster enters another overbank turn that sets the train up for the return run. This again gives you a feeling of openness on the outside rows. You then pass over a small trim break that hardly slows the train at all, entering another strong airtime hill. Think of it as a mini version of the 5-second hill. This is followed by a turning airtime hill that reminds me of the curved airtime hill on Magnum if it were to be designed today. It features great forces, both lifting you out of your seat and throwing you to the side. This is followed by a speed hill right next to the first drop. The view allows you to once again appreciate the scale of the ride itself, while the hill provides some strong ejector airtime for several seconds. The train then flies up and into the block break. This provides some solid airtime before throwing you forward into your restraints as the brakes slow the train. The train then drops under the lift hill and into one of the weaker moments on the ride, an airtime hill that provides some airtime, sort of. This then leads to an RMC style element that is like an airtime hill and an overbank combined. This hill starts with some light airtime before throwing you hard to the right with banking. On the unload side of the train, you'll be briefly ejected out of your seat. Closer to the load side of the train, you'll hardly notice this element at all. The ride concludes with a wide bank turn over the midway and a separate lake before climbing up into the main brakes, ending the roughly 2-minute ride experience. The main brake and transfer brake area also features that relaxing entrance to the Q-Line soundtrack once again, leading to just a perfect ending for this ride. In conclusion, Mako features all that I want in a roller coaster. The abundance of airtime combined with a comfortable and well-executed theme that doesn't try to take itself too seriously make this ride feel complete in a way that no other ride does. Being a B&M coaster, this ride is also incredibly smooth, making it my favorite coaster to re-ride. I'm a person that can't re-ride most coasters more than a few times as I'll start to get a headache. Mako is an exception to this. In fact, me and my friends often joke that this ride makes you de-age, as it is such an enjoyable and comfortable experience. The only problems with this coaster come from it being owned and operated by SeaWorld. If this ride was owned by another company, its few flaws, such as its non-working theming and poor operations, would likely fade away. Though Mako is undeniably not the most intense, fastest, or longest coaster, it is the perfect mix of everything that I like in a roller coaster. And to me, that makes it worthy of being called the perfect ride. I give this ride a 10 out of 10, and it is my current number 2 favorite roller coaster of all time, behind only Magnum. Thanks for watching this review, and we'll see you next time.